Good morning, Goucher. Good morning, class of 2013. Congratulations to you. 2014. And 2013, too. We still remember them. To 2014, you've actually done it. Can you believe it? Finally. This is a moment of great joy for you and actually a great relief for those who love you. And I think we ought to do another shout out for your family, for your spouses, for your primary relationships, everybody who loves you. Let's give another shout out. Thank you, Mr. Bond, for those wonderful words about me, and thank you, Goucher, for giving me this honorary doctorate. But really, it's not for me to thank you for what you give to me. I want to thank Goucher for what they give to our community, to our state, and to our country. So while today it's the day for the class of 2014, I think we really need to recognize all who make the Goucher community so great. First of all, the outstanding faculty, I think, is one of the best anywhere and everywhere. And also, how about the wonderful support team? From the security guard to those in the cafeteria to all who really make Goucher safe, fun, clean, etc. I want to also salute the other people on the podium, certainly Susan Eisenhower, who's made an outstanding contribution in many ways. A special word of congratulation to Margot Perot. She met her husband. She was at Goucher just about the same time I was at a Catholic women's college called Mount St. Agnes. It was in Mount Washington. It has since merged with Loyola University. Back in that day, women who were in college, particularly we who were in all girls' schools, as they were called, would go to the Naval Academy for something called tea dances. Now, Margot got Ross. I got lemons and hot water. Seriously, congratulations, Mrs. Perot. And then there is my own friend and colleague every day in every way, Senator Ben Cardin, who I know you will honor shortly. In many states in our country, the two senators don't get along. We not only are of the same party, but I'm so pleased that we share the same values. Every day, Ben and Barb team up and talk with each other on how we can make the world a better place, how we can save the planet, how we can fight for social justice, how we can end economic injustice, how we can end war, how we can bring about peace, cures for diseases. We're kind of busy, and we hope one day you'll join us as staff. I would also like to pay my respects to the passing of two Goucher people, certainly Matthew Gabrielle, who had such a promising future, and of course my very dear friend, Rhoda Dorsey, who was a great friend, a great advisor, and we will miss her tremendously. But also, this is a time for one of the last official acts of your president, Sandy Unger. Sandy has led Goucher, as you know, for 13 years. Many of you have heard of our long friendship together. When I was an up-and-comer and fighting for the empowerment of people and neighborhoods and communities, Sandy wrote the very first story about me in the Washington Post. Sandy is the one who actually made me famous. You know, if it hadn't been for that Post article, I don't know where I'd be today. But what I admire about Sandy, again, is not what he did for me, but what he's done for so many others, and what he's done here at Goucher. Yes, we talk about the Athenaeum and many other things. So whether it was bricks or mortar or clicks or modems, for me, one of the most important things that Sandy did, because he came shortly before that horrific day of 9/11. At that time, after 9/11, people wanted to close the doors to our country. They certainly want to close their own minds and their own hearts, and they wanted to close doors. But not Sandy Unger. Using the power of his presidency and the support of the board, he established this whole program of universal foreign travel. So for Sandy, instead of saying to you, the Goucher students of yesterday and in the future, instead of hiding and seeking, he encouraged you to seek a wider world, to go travel, meet other people, get other experiences, and when you come back home, your world will be better, and you're going to make the world a better place. I think we ought to give Sandy a round of applause. In 1973, Goucher gave me an honorary doctorate. I was really excited. I was a Baltimore City Councilwoman, and I had gotten into politics by beating two political machines. I didn't think I was going to go get into politics. I thought that I was going to go get a doctorate in public health at Johns Hopkins. But what I saw was that the powers that be, the big guys downtown, were going to push bulldozers through neighborhoods to build a highway through Baltimore. It was going to go through the older ethnic neighborhoods like Canton and Fells Point. Where the Inner Harbor is, it would have been a cloverleaf. Federal Hill was going to be leveled as an engineering obstacle. And then there were neighborhoods called Sharp Street, Leadenhall, and also Rosemont. The first black home ownership neighborhood in Baltimore was going to be bullnosed. And I helped organize a group that said, hell no, we aren't going to go. And I've been going ever since. I got into politics so that I could be a voice for people who had none, to encourage people to fight when they felt no one would be on their side, and for people to be empowered so that they could have a voice and fight for themselves. Those were the values of the 1973 honorary doctorate, and I hope they're the values that I do here today. I've had many wonderful things happen to me over the last 40 years, and you've heard many of them said today. But I'll just share a few things in closing, because again, today is not about me, it's about you. 2 years ago, I was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame in Seneca Falls. The night before, we gathered, and I was with others. And as we had a glass of wine, we all wanted to talk about what we had in common. For many of us, we are the generation where we are the firsties. We came out of college at a certain time where whatever we did, whatever barrier we broke, we were the first. The first woman in space, the first woman to be a chief executive of a major corporation, the first woman to hold a significant cabinet position. And we all had this in common, that though we were the first, we didn't want to be the only. And also what we said was this, that if you're a firstie, never be a selfie. If you're the first, you shouldn't be the only. You should also encourage others. The other thing that we said was that behind every me, there's a whole lot of we. None of us get here by ourselves. We often hear, pull yourself up by your bootstrap. But you can do that with the support of your family. What about public schools? What about public libraries? What about all of those other things that help you be you, and we need to build them? So when you get to be you, build communities and institutions like that. And the last thing is, most of us heard was no. We all heard no. You can't do that. Who ever heard of a woman trying that? Oh, I don't believe that anybody could ever find a cure for cancer or find the first lab test to detect diabetes so that at home. Every single one of us had been told, no, you can't run a marathon. No, you can't be an astronaut. No, no, no. But you know what we did? We took every time when they said, no, you can't, we said, yes, we can. So we went on to win Nobel Prizes, go on the Supreme Court, lead civil rights movements, and try to change the world. And so for those remarks, I say, thank you for honoring me. But now it's your turn. We're at a different stage, many of us up here, but you're at the first stage of a pretty and exciting life. So I say to each and every one of you, you can make a difference. But you know what? When we work together, we can make change. So may the force be with you.